All right, this right here is crazy. It's definitely crazy. We got to get into this.
Well, that single reaction you just saw, it tells you absolutely everything you need to know about where this incredibly tense negotiation currently stands. You see, the WNBA Players Association officially opted out of their collective bargaining agreement way back in October 2024, and now we are all staring right down the barrel of a potential and frankly disastrous lockout. But here's the crucial piece of the puzzle that has been completely missing from almost all the coverage you've seen. We're going to look at the owner's actual perspective. I'm not talking about speculation, and I'm definitely not talking about more anonymous sources. We're talking about the real, hard-nosed business reasons why they are refusing to budge on the issue of revenue sharing. And trust me, when you see the numbers they're looking at and the risks they're weighing, this entire standoff starts to make a whole lot more sense from their side of the table. So let's establish the baseline here, because the numbers are pretty stark. Right now, WNBA players receive a shockingly low 7% of league revenue. Let me say that again. Just 7%. Meanwhile, their counterparts in the NBA are guaranteed a full 50% of all basketball-related income. That enormous gap is precisely what the players are fighting to close. But this is exactly where the entire situation gets incredibly complicated. You've had multiple major media outlets report on these negotiations by simply repeating the line that the league isn't profitable, but they do it without ever providing a shred of actual financial documentation to back that claim up. For example, NBC Sports claimed the WNBA has a long reputation of being an unstable business. Bleacher Report wrote, "The league isn't profitable yet." Sports Illustrated made nearly identical statements. And the common thread, none of them cited any verifiable sources. The Athletic then took it even further, quoting their own anonymous sources who claimed the league and its teams combined haven't been profitable since the WNBA's inception. That's 29 straight years of reported losses, a staggering figure if it's actually true. Now here's the one article that everyone keeps referencing. In October 2024, just before the CBA opt-out deadline, the New York Post published a bombshell piece claiming the WNBA would lose a staggering $40 million that season alone. And their source for this massive number, a single, anonymous NBA executive who was quoted as saying, "The WNBA owes the NBA so much we won't see any windfall for years." That one article, based on one anonymous quote, has become the entire foundation for the unprofitable league narrative that is completely dominating these high-stakes negotiations. But you have to notice the timing here. This story conveniently drops right before the deadline for the players to opt out of the CBA, which is the absolute prime time for both sides to try and control the public narrative. And even more telling, it's coming from an anonymous NBA executive who has a clear invested financial interest in keeping player costs as low as humanly possible. Okay, let's keep digging, because here's what makes this whole narrative particularly frustrating and frankly insulting for the players. The WNBA just wrapped up its most successful, most watched, most talked about season in its entire history. The arrival of Caitlin Clark as a rookie drove absolutely record-breaking viewership numbers and unprecedented ticket sales across the league.